I'd bought the cheapest R8 I could justify after a group of blokes on the internet invited me on a road trip across Europe. And instead of doing sensible things like servicing it properly, checking the tyres or dealing with any of the warning signs, I decided to fit a stupidly loud exhaust the night before we left, as that was a far better use of time. Over the next 9 days we drive nearly 4,000 miles across France, Spain and Andorra. Fortunately, it didn't entirely go to plan.
Oh, my oil temp is way up.
Is it? Guys, I don't know if you can hear us, we've had to stop.
Can anybody hear us? We're stuck on the mountain pass. We've had catastrophic. That's us out.
It is, yeah, it's in the front, isn't it?
We've got some issues with the R8. Some fairly serious issues, actually. Oh!
Badge is literally coming off. It's falling apart, isn't it?
Fast.
Rip the Audi badge from the front of this supercar.
Unfortunately, because we are northern monkeys, we had a 5-hour journey down to the south coast. This was followed by a 3-hour delay waiting for the tunnel, and about an hour getting into the north of France where we're meeting the rest of the gang. I won't bore you too much with that, and I'll just meet you at the first hotel.
Good morning and a happy bonjour to you all. We are in France, finally. This is our first place, so we are in Hotel du Golf in Lombre. I don't know, you'll pick up quite quickly. I can't speak French, as did the guy at the bar last night. Anyway, this is a golf resort. We won't be playing golf because in around about half an hour's time we're going to be setting off and driving across the top bit of France, unfortunately more motorways, and then working our way down some rather beautiful hairpins to our next destination as we slowly work our way down the country trying to find these elusive, incredible driving roads. Show you the cars and we'll saddle up. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the stable, shall we? As you well know, we're in the R8 V10, which was a cheap supercar, which so far has done really well. First car, that is Tom's M5. You've already seen that. And here we have some of the special ones. Elliot's going to be driving this, which is a 911, as you can see. Ooh, Carrera 4 GTS. Lovely. So that's a 992. So that's the twin turbo ones. This is Elliot's father's car, who has said, under no uncertain terms, after a couple of beers last night at the bar, I can have a go in it. And I'll be reminding him of that. An Alpine. Bit of an interesting choice of car, because I suspect he wasn't the most comfortable on the motorways. However, I think he's going to be in the best place on the twisty roads. Going to be interesting to watch. Obviously, the beautiful Audi R8, piloted by myself and Tim, and then this has just turned up. So this is an Alfa Romeo Quattro Stagioni, I believe. Basically, a Ferrari engine with 2 cylinders lobbed off. Clarkson did a great review on this. Breakfast and saddle up.
So after a rather broken night's sleep and what felt like an eternity driving down the UK to get here, we're finally ready to go. So we gathered in the foyer, talking about the plan of action is for the day. And bizarrely, Elliot appears to be very focused on taking racing lines and warming your tyres up and how you'd overtake appropriately, which sounds very much like a track day to me. But anyway, the penny didn't drop and we hit the open road. Unfortunately, a dash of rain, followed by some dry weather and a rather exceptional overtake from this Ferrari to kick off the trip. So finally we are here, northern France, bit of sunshine, ready to rock and roll, taking in the views, taking in the look of all the cars and getting rather excited about what might be to come. Now what I didn't realise is what was to come was some rather aggressive driving as the lads from down south decided they wanted to make their mark on the northerners, and we struggled very much to keep up, although I think I did my bit, much to Tim's disappointment.
They are off, mate.
They're off. Don't try and stick with them. You just you don't know if the corner's going to tighten or not.
I don't know what's behind these corners. They do. Oh, look at those hairpins, mate. There's no way I'm keeping with these guys on these twisties.
Take it steady.
I'm not going too stupid, I'm genuinely feeling under control. What a set of roads these are! That was good, wasn't it?
Better sat there than it is here, I can promise you.
Unfortunately for my miserable Yorkshire chum over there, this wasn't just a quick 20-minute blast, and it turned into 2 hours of the most intense driving I've ever had in my life.
Glad I'm not knackered, Tim.
Yeah.
Would be a
Mind
shame.
you, the knackerness goes when you're fully concentrating and focused and...
Wide awake.
Yeah.
So, much to Tim's relief, after hours of zero mechanical sympathy, zero care for a passenger, and zero understanding as to exactly what we're doing, we finally pulled up into a lay-by, where of course we had to rub it in the faces of the Southerners that they couldn't lose us, even though, quite frankly, it was terrifying.
That sounded so good. Like,
Right at the top the whole way through.
you were smashing it. You were like right up with everyone.
I was trying, yeah.
I could tell.
Thing is with the R8 as well, 'cause I own one.
Yeah.
It understeers quite a bit. Does want to push on.
Yeah, you weren't getting away there, were you, mate? You know.
Say what?
Yeah, you weren't.
No, nothing.
He was on the tail.
It's literally like being in Forza.
And there's no one on the roads.
Just
There's no one.
It's better than being on the track, isn't it? Because it's just
Like, yeah.
It was bumpy though.
there's some these roads are a bit
These
bumpy.
are bumpy, but we'll get to like it will be like a mirror.
Yeah.
And it will just be amazing.
This is a bit bumpy here. You know, this bit. Still
So
though,
intense.
It's better than sitting on the motorway.
Through the trees.
Yeah.
Just think, if we get this wrong.
We good?
Welcome.
After that rather sudden introduction from Ottano as to what a driving tour actually looks like, we headed back to the hotel, nice and calm, chilled out and relaxed. Even Tim's looking happy and relaxed now, ready to just chill out for an evening and have a couple of beers and forget about it all. Unfortunately, the following day, our cheap supercar was about to raise its ugly little head and show us the first of its many problems that were going to appear on this trip. So whilst we relaxed and enjoyed the evening, tomorrow's mountain pass was going to be a bit of an eye-opener.
Good morning. So, hotel number 2 is this one, which is Voco, just south of Dijon. And then today we're going to be heading further down south to try and essentially get to the Pyrenees. So that is the battle plan today. Another beautiful location. And as frightening as yesterday was, genuinely one of the best experiences I've had behind the wheel of a car. Insane. Racing a Ferrari 458 through hairpin bends in this beautiful scenery, apparently this beautiful scenery, I daren't look. Just mind-bending. I'll never forget it for the rest of my life. Now, I need to call something out here. Yesterday, I think, got a little bit out of control. So I apologise for that. So we sat in the bar afterwards, had a bit of a chat, Tim and I in particular, even though Alex didn't seem to care very much. And we just think we're trying to prove something we don't need to prove. So today we're going to try and sort of back off a little bit and just try and enjoy the roads a little bit more.
Following that rather sobering conclusion I'd had with myself last night, we headed down the motorways towards Lyon. Nice steady pace, taking in the French scenery and a little sprinkle of traffic. However, Tim's worst fears were indeed revealed when we stopped off at what was going to be one of many toilet breaks on this trip at a service station just south of Lyon, and we saw the aftermath of what happens when you get it really wrong on one of these trips.
This is a 911 Turbo. So he's managed to do the front and the back of this in. It's ripped off pretty much everything here, obviously all the exhaust, etc. You can just see the turbos there. He's done the front of it in as well. Headlights gone, windscreen's gone. And that's not the worst bit. Around this side, completely detached the hub. Ripped it into 2 pieces. Don't even know where the carbon ceramic brake's gone. That is a very, very expensive thing to put right. And that is exactly why you need to be mindful on these trips not to get too giddy, which is exactly what everybody's been doing. So we're just going to try and be a little bit calmer now, I think.
Right, speed back to 130. I'll send the cruise at that pace.
The chatter is actually very helpful on the motors as well, so they're sort of keeping us together in a group. But everyone appears to be bunching together fairly well.
A lot steadier today though, you promised.
Unfortunately for Tim,
Now that's tight.
I just couldn't help myself, could I? We're following an Alpine here up this mountain pass, and we're just north of Montpellier, as you can see on the map here. A place called Les Gorges, I believe, and the road was just phenomenal. There were no bumps, there were no potholes, nothing. It was fantastic. However, this was an uphill journey, and the gorge was to the left of us, and every corner we went round was a little bit intimidating, to say the least. And Tim found a new hobby, which was describe the drops to my left whilst I'm doing the speed of sound.
Good grief, don't look down them drops, Rob.
Not doing. Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah, that is a pure cliff edge to the left, by the way.
Right, thank you. Thank you for that, Tim.
Hundreds and hundreds of feet just down.
Thanks, Tim.
You need to know.
God, that was mental.
Yep, that is just a sheer drop off there.
I do like the fact you keep talking about that, Tim,
I'm
mate.
trying to calm you down. Like that.
And so we continued at pace, lapping up this scenery, heading up this beautiful mountain pass, until the Audi showed its first weakness.
Oh, my oil temp is way up.
Is it?
Yeah, like way up, mate.
Short shift then.
Just a quick heads up, the R8 oil temp is right up. It's at 125, which is pretty punchy it's been so far.
Yeah, probably best to just back off for a bit, make it a bit easier, stay a gear higher. I've got some coolant to sale.
Not sure that'd mix too nicely with my oil, mate. I appreciate it though. Oh, I'll tell you what, we're really pushing this car through its paces, aren't we, Tim, mate?
Yeah.
Another bike coming, more bikes.
The motorbikes couldn't have come at a better time for this R8 because it was slowly starting to cook itself. Now, fortunately, I did some Googling about this, and they do run quite high temperatures, but when you've got a V10 sat mid-mounted in the back of your car and not a huge amount of cooling in warm air, the inevitable was bound to happen. So fortunately, there was a saving grace. We finally hit some traffic. The traffic that turned out to quite enjoy our presence.
How's your temperature, Rob?
Yeah, good, it's stabilised, to be fair, mate. It was just took a bit of a pagger in trying to keep up with that blue Alpine, to be honest.
If it's any consolation, my temperature's very high too.
So once I'd let my budget supercar cool down for a bit, I let it rip one more time for the day. And we all headed back to the hotel to chill out and relax and forget we ever had a problem. Little did I know, tomorrow was going to be a bigger problem, as the Audi decided it would develop something new. Regardless, we enjoyed our time at the hotel, we drank one too many beers, and it led to this rather interesting wine review from our mate Tim.
Tell you very little about this wine, any of the notes, aromas, or indeed flavours, but what we can all agree on is it tastes like white dog shit.
Good morning. We are very well rested. We just stayed in a rather nice spa resort in Montpellier. Now, we didn't get a chance last night. We wanted to enjoy the facilities, and instead we enjoyed the bar quite heavily. We are a little bit exhausted. This driving trip is not for the faint-hearted, so Ottano, which is a fantastic company, obviously that's who's taking us away. They take you to some incredible places, but you have got to be on it, on the driving roads. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be heading through the Pyrenees. We've got 2 hours of motorway driving. Then we are crossing the border into Spain. So passports at the ready, Alex. And we're going to be hitting some of what they think is the most beautiful roads on the trip. However, apparently it just gets better and better and better. Fancy a game of chess, Alex? This hotel is insane. Look at this.
Not only had this hotel somehow become the setting for Tim's absolutely horrendous wine review, which, despite taking place at a world-class vineyard estate, he still managed to make it sound like a man reviewing Ribena in a Tesco car park, this hotel turned out to be a bit of a highlight for me on the trip, because at this point we'd already covered some incredible roads, spent hours in the cars and settled into the rhythm of the trip, so arriving here felt like a chance to properly slow things down for an evening. Honestly, I could have stayed here for a week without even thinking about leaving. I might even take the good lady back here one day. But with another huge drive ahead of us this morning, it ended up being one of those places I just wish it had been booked for a little bit longer.
So, day 3, now heading towards the roads going into the Pyrenees. This is where it's meant to start getting a little bit special, and the hotel is meant to be even more special. If you like a good view, you're going to love what's coming up here. we're childish.
I think you know what's going to come here, don't you? And that is more loud noises coming out the back of that V10 R8. It sounded incredible. And this is Alex, who's our cameraman. His first chance to get a go in this car. He absolutely loved it. This boy really came out of his shell this trip. I thought he was a bit of a wuss, but he appears he actually quite likes cars. Anyway, we headed out of France towards the Spanish border, lapping up those views, soaking up the sun, and getting ready for what is meant to be an incredible mountain pass going down the other side. However, the Audi had different plans coming down the side of that mountain.
How was that, mate?
Oh, epic.
Oh, it was getting warm, was that temp again, so I'm glad. They've obviously caught something in front of them, so it's just so moorish, those corners. The roads are just like glass, there's no bumps, there's no adverse camber. It's literally perfect, it's exactly what you want.
Oh, wow.
Oh wow, look at that, beautiful. Just come through these random little places. Oh, we are literally coming over into Spain now. That was great.
So good.
Love that. Wide as well.
Huh? It's
What-
wide, good
yeah.
tarmac, like,
Surface
amazing.
perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
great. And we only got up to 130 degrees on oil.
Oh, really?
Sorted. God, that were ace, mate.
Oh.
Best road so far, I think, for me.
Yeah, no,
personally.
they're definitely the best one of the trip so far.
Yeah.
You only got another 3 hours of that.
I'm not sure I can handle 3 hours of that. That was fairly exhilarating coming up the hill. I thought you might like this. France. I believe this to be the old passport control centre. I think they made it borderless or whatever. And then just around this corner, we go from bonjour to hola. Welcome to Spain. So we've got about another 3 hours worth of driving, and it's all meant to be these mountain roads now, which is meant to be exceptional. So we're heading in that direction, following all the twisty stuff. Then we're going to pop into a valley and have a little bit of lunch, then back up a mountain, back down a mountain, across a beautiful blue thing. I think it is a lake. And then we'll get to the hotel and we can all just relax again. Whew. Back to it.
Now we're heading into Spain down this beautiful mountain pass, and we're following a guy called TJ. Now TJ is one of the founders of Ottano. I'm going to go into that a little bit more detail later on, but he's driving a 996 Porsche 911 Turbo, and I thought that would be easy prey for an Audi R8 V10. However, it turns out that boy can pedal. And speaking of pedals, as we came down the side of this mountain, there started to be a little bit of resistance from my brake pedal. And when I say resistance, juddering. I'd felt this earlier on in the trip, but it just started to come on a little bit stronger on the way down this hill. And as we started to get closer to the bottom, I started to get brake fade, which at those sort of speeds in a V10 supercar is not a pleasant place to be. We had to abort.
Oh, I just felt a bit. Just tell TJ my brakes are fairly cooked.
Just ease off and let them cool down a bit.
Yeah, cheers mate. Got a bit of brake fade and my fell out. Did not like those brakes going down the hill, mate. They were well sketchy.
So we pulled into this lovely Spanish tapas bar, and whilst everyone else decided to fill their faces, I was filled with dread, thinking about the costs of what replacement discs might be on an R8. Nevertheless, I did the right thing and ignored the situation. This would prove to be a problem.
They've all gone for lunch, having a glass of Coke, and we're now sat waiting for everybody, but I just thought you'd like this beautiful scenery, because there's a rather lovely waterfall over there, which Alex has sent the drone up over for. I thought you might appreciate it. However, we are dying to get to the hotel now. Everybody else is eating. We don't really fancy eating because we had a good breakfast. We just want to get in that spa. We've been told we've got 3 hours of driving left. These trips are so hardcore. You've got to be on it. I'm a little bit knackered. I want to be in the spa. So, back on the road. So we are on the last sort of mountain pass now before we get to the hotel, and you'll notice the driving standards have slowed right down, and that's for two reasons. The first reason is because the lads are having some food and we want to get to the hotel, so the pace has dropped significantly. And the other reason is because there's just been a lashing of rain come down, and these roads are super greasy. And as you can see on my maps here, you look at those, Tim, it is just twist and turn and twist and turn. And we both agreed, haven't we? We don't want to die.
We have agreed that, yeah.
It's just a discussion that we had about whether or not we love our girlfriends and partners. Jury was out on that one. But then we realised that we do like an English boozer. And we couldn't be giving up on that at this early stage in life, so we're going to be going steady. It's so greasy, Zach, it's not hammered it down, it's just rained a bit. And I just do not fancy seeing how good this Quattro system is, so we'll just get back. But we've got 33 minutes until the next waypoint, which I believe is just in front of a rather long tunnel. So this is the bit we've been waiting for a while, the old tunnel run.
Another part of the trip that is absolutely unforgettable was this. These were all the different tunnel runs that we hit heading to the next hotel. It was relentless, just tunnel after tunnel, and that V10. Oh, I almost forgot about my brakes failing. Unfortunately, and to be fair, we are used to this as Brits, we did get rained off yet again. But to the next hotel, where we could chill out, put our feet up. It was only €3 a pint here as well, so we were rather pleased and smitten as Yorkshiremen, and get ready for tomorrow, which would prove to be probably one of the best days on the trip. Now, whilst we sit down and get comfortable looking at this beautiful view across the mountains, and I give Alex some abuse for leaving his wallet in the first hotel, something he's only just remembered to mention as it was his round, shock, you're probably wondering who Ottano are. Well, they don't just do these big fancy road trips. Essentially, what Ottano is a members-only club for proper petrol heads and enthusiasts. Now, you're probably thinking the membership is going to be very expensive. Well, you'd be wrong. It is free to join. Now, there's lots of different perks with Ottano, and it's not just a case of getting discounts on wax for your car or whatever. They do lots of UK events as well. And again, a lot of these are free, so they do car and coffee events, sundown socials, short morning drives. They're trying to build a community of proper petrol heads here, and genuinely it's something I'm excited about. It's nice to see someone wanting to do something. There's going to be a link in the description below if you want to join up as a member, and I'd suggest you do, because I am going to be hosting a UK tour later in the year with some of the Ottano guys for a one-night stay, probably about a couple of hours away from where we're based in Yorkshire, and it's going to be purely for subscribers of the Logbook only. So when you join as a member, make sure you select the drop-down box and say that you've come via our YouTube channel, and you'll be automatically invited onto one of these tours where it'd be great to do a one-night stop, meet some of you guys, chat cars, have a laugh, and forget about the usual daily stresses of life. That's Ottano.
Good morning, and welcome to Permaloa near Busella. Is that right? Welcome to Spain. We stayed here last night, which is a rather lovely, kind of rusticy, nice, slow pace of life, beautiful hotel, and it was gorgeous. We had beef cheek last night, which was rather exceptional. Now, there's something that I wanted to do this morning. I wanted to address something, which is the driving pace on this holiday. So I'm not sure if it's come across in the videos, but it has been fairly spirited, for want of a better word. Now, I was speaking to the guys who set up Ottano last night, saying, look, this is, for us, maybe just a little bit fast paced. They said, oh, we'll just, hang back like you did yesterday. It's no problem at all. And they do have sort of different types of driving groups. If you want to go fast, you can go fast. If you want to go slow, go slow. So today I'm really looking forward to it, because today we get a chance to just sort of go steady away, not too daft, really soak in those views, because yesterday through those tunnels was just, honestly, I think the best driving experience of my life. Every single day has got better and better, and they promised me that it will continue to do so. So today we're going on some mountain passes, and I just thought you might want to take in the views of this place, much like I've been doing over the last few hours. Welcome to Spain. So I shall read you from the brochure what is on the agenda for today. So day 4, start time 9 AM. They don't muck about, these boys. It's set to be a great day of driving. We have one of the best roads in Spain on the route today. So we're going to set off from the hotel and head straight to the Port del Canto, a road that snakes all the way up to 1,721 metres. So it is going to probably, I suspect, get chilly up there. Now that apparently is a great introduction for what is to follow, which is Port delle Bogne. I think that's how you pronounce it. And this is to be said one of the greatest driving roads in Europe. And this is kind of the thing that we're here for, really. This is going to be the special one. Many hairpin bends and spectacular views. So we're then going to a restaurant for a bite to eat at lunch, and then we're going to continue with our afternoon of driving, followed by a luxury 5-star hotel stay. Another rubbish day in the office. Let's saddle up.
Today's trip out has got me particularly excited because we're going to be hitting some of the most beautiful roads, I would say arguably, in the world. However, in the spirit of things, we hit some tunnels first. I am so pleased with the sound of that exhaust. It was well worth squeezing it on the back of the car just before we went on this trip. However, as you will see later on, maintenance might have been a better choice. And before we know it, we're there.
So I promised you, if you hung on, you were going to get good scenery and good roads. This is one of the best driving roads in Europe.
Threading its way through the heart of the Spanish Pyrenees, the Port de la Bogne sits 2,000 metres above sea level and has connected these remote mountain communities for centuries.
We are starting to come up now, starting to move now.
Once a dangerous route battered by snow, rockfalls and brutal weather, it's now become one of Europe's greatest driving roads. A ribbon of tarmac carved through the mountains, fast sweepers, blind crests, sheer drops and scenery that barely looks real. This is the sort of road that cars like the R8 were made for. The higher we climb, the more this road starts to feel unreal. Corner after corner, the R8 just digs in, the V10 echoing off the mountainside like it was built for this exact moment. But roads like this come with consequences. The air gets thinner, the drops get steeper, and as the pace starts to rise, you can't help but wonder what gives up first, the brakes, the temperatures, or just my confidence? Because this isn't a racetrack, it's a narrow ribbon of tarmac hanging off the side of a mountain, and somehow it might just be the best road I've ever driven.
Coming down after the triple hairpin, so be careful, it might be you guys midway through.
What a hotel this was. So hidden high in the Pyrenees near the French border, Canfranc was one of the most important railway stations in Europe. And here's a little history lesson for you. Opened in 1928, this enormous mountain station connected France and Spain through the heart of the mountains. Used to carry passengers, freight, politicians and refugees across the border for decades. But after years of decline and abandonment, the station slowly fell into ruin, sitting empty in the mountains like something from an old war film. Today, it's been transformed into one of the most unique hotels in Europe. Now, arriving here yesterday after a full day on the mountain roads in the R8 genuinely felt less like pulling up to a hotel and more like stepping onto the set of a Bond movie. It truly was exquisite. However, as wonderful as the French are for what they've done to this hotel, I will never forgive them for what they did to us on day 5 of this trip. They have absolutely stuffed us, as lovely as this hotel porter might have been this morning.
Ready?
Yeah.
that is too much normal.
Rare. Yeah, hard to find. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, you have a nice trip. Thank you very much.
You take care.
You have a nice trip. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye. His favourite car. My budget R8. So, we have a brochure. Today, start time 9 AM. Don't we bloody know it? And today we're going to head across the border into Francais. Several French cols to drive in succession. We should make for a fantastic day of driving from start to finish. This should be a pretty cool day. The roads are technical and twisty with little traffic. The tarmac is mostly silky smooth, as it tends to be in France. That is the one thing that's been jumping off the page on this trip. The road surface. Ooh la la.
Ooh la la, no, Rob, because what we're about to find out is that French road workers are gits.
Oh, I did have there was a closed road sign there, so I might need to pull up ahead and just double check something. Okay, well, that guy is saying that the road is open, so hopefully he's not lying to us.
Yeah.
Just might be a bit boring because the road is covered in gravel from all the roadworks.
Yeah, it's just gravel everywhere, isn't it, at the minute? They're obviously just redoing the lot.
Just bad luck, never mind.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah, so the guy said just be careful. I asked him if it's open, he said yes, it's open, but you have to go slow because the surface is not great.
Oh, this is the problem, isn't it? Because the roads are so good, it's because they keep on top of it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
If it was closed, that would really up our timings and plans.
If it's anything like the UK, they'll do little bits all at the same time, around 5 miles apart.
So they were lying to us. It is closed.
Oh,
It's closed?
why would they do that?
Okay, so we're going to turn around and go back? Yeah, we're going to have to.
So, sadly, the French, would you believe it?
They've done us again.
They've lied. What a set of absolute cretins. Obviously, drama afoot. We've had to regroup because the French are not wanting to build relationships with the Brits at the minute. That went well.
Yeah, it went great.
Yeah. So what did he say? Did they say? Oh, yeah. He said it was open. There's no breakdown.
I asked him as well. I said, "C'est ouvert?" He said, "Oui," but he said that the road is mashed up. Go slowly.
Which was
But
truthful.
he may have thought we were just going to the top, to the viewpoint.
No, but I said to the first guy,
Yeah.
I asked him, I said, c'est fermé to Soleur, which is the next
Yeah.
col.
Yeah.
And he said,
okay.
I said, c'est fermé. And he said, no. And I went, c'est fermé? And he went, no. So I literally
If anyone
confirmed
could translate.
twice with him, and then he mugged us off.
He mugged us off.
Yeah, basically mugged us off.
Yeah. Timothy?
I'm ready. Wixie.
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Born ready. This is absolutely beautiful.
Breathtaking, isn't it?
It's like it's been painted.
It is, yeah. Well, I've only really ever seen things like this on postcards, so...
Yeah, quite literally. Oh, look at that down there.
I know.
I'll try not to
No,
land
you
in
watch
it.
the road, please. I'll do the looking.
Describe it to me.
Yeah, oh, it's picturesque.
Lovely.
Snowy mountains.
Fortunately, it would appear when you go abroad on roads like this, you can't go wrong. Even though the French have absolutely shafted us there and we've ended up going back on ourselves and costed ourselves around about 3 hours of extra driving, which quite frankly Tim and I could have done without, we still managed to find just picture postcard stuff absolutely everywhere. Now, this was a bit of a sedentary drive back to the next hotel, which is probably a good thing actually, because there were a few other issues that had started to rear their head in the R8. So there's one that I'm going to go through tomorrow morning when we stood outside of the hotel. I didn't really want to talk about it at the time. I'm going to explain that to you tomorrow morning.
Good morning and welcome to day 5, Alex? 6. Day 6, and welcome to this place in the mountains. I think we're in Spain again, but we might be France. I'll show you here on the map, but that's where we are. I'm starting to get a little bit tired. However, we've got an exciting day ahead of us today, a particularly exciting day. Unfortunately for Tim, he has got a very long day ahead of him because what he decided to do last night was get involved with the Spanish, we must be in Spain, because he got involved with the Spanish locals last night and spent all night on the terrace at the back drinking beer and some questionable liquid in these weird funky glasses. I've seen him this morning. He's not good. So I'm going to shove him in the back of the M5. Alex, you're with me today. Now, we've got some issues with the R8. Some fairly serious issues, actually. They've been kind of building over the week, and whilst that car has been basically perfect the whole way through, we've got some problems this morning with the brakes and the aircon. So probably two of the things that I want the very most on these mountain passes. The brakes are starting to judder a little bit. It's like got worse and worse and worse over the holiday, and then I lost a bit of braking last night coming down a mountain, which was very scary. And obviously not ideal in the tropical rainstorm that we had last night as well. And then the aircon, for some bizarre reason, blows cold in the middle, but only when it's slightly up a bit, hot on the outside, and then when you put it on cold, it's all hot. And look at the state of her now. She's looking a little bit worse for wear, bless her. Although one thing I didn't notice before is, how cool is this? You can see the exhaust through here, which is mega. And inside is starting to resemble most part exchanges that are taken, actually. Just absolutely covered in filth. And to make matters worse, Tom's here. When I bought this car, I did notice that the brakes had a little bit of a lip on them. However, it's not good. It's sketchy, to be honest. And you're with me, Alex, today. So a bit of breakfast, and we go again. Is it running, that, Elliot?
Yes.
Nice. Very nice, I have a chair.
Am I scraping on something? Yeah, your wheel is in the channel.
Oh. I'm melting again. What we could do would be to do the roof and put the aircon on. God, that is red, isn't it, that?
Yeah, it's getting worse.
My arm hurts. Spent a lot of time in there trying to work out what after sun is in Spanish, and no one would help me. This will probably do it though. Ah!
Oh.
Ah!
No, we're not bothered. Behind me.
Ah!
You can go to your right.
Oh! El Sudi. I can put the blendings on.
Behind me here or not? Probably in the next.
That's the only bit in sun.
Is there anything else coming, or you're waiting?
Just need some shade. Oh. How? Genius. Absolute genius. That's the best thing I've done all trip.
Now here's the most unexpected part of the trip. As we pass into Andorra, I was expecting to be a little bit more refined because Andorra, as you might well know, is the tax haven, and I thought it was probably going to be a little bit more chilled out. I kind of had Switzerland vibes. However, we ended up on this pass, and as amazing as that road was going through the mountains, I genuinely think myself and Ben, one of the founders of Ottano, having this little back and forth up these twisty roads is probably the best experience I've ever had in a car. I know I've said it before on this trip.
That was epic. That was so cool, just two of us. Oh, I didn't even hear him coming.
Sounds a little bit like a dishwasher, doesn't it?
I don't think that's fair on dishwashers. Yeah.
Murdered a butterfly, Tom.
Ouch.
Oh.
Well, have a look in the radiator. There'll be some stuff in there, won't there?
Some form of technology, probably. Radars or some Should we just chill out?
Unfortunately, a chill out wasn't on the cards because I got handed the keys to the 458.
Go and get a downshift.
So after one of the most exhilarating experiences of my life, if you know me, you'll know a 458 is the top of my list of cars I love, we got back to the hotel where we could chill out and relax again, only to find that the lads had stuffed me.
I don't know how they manage to keep on doing it, these boys, but these hotels just level up and level up. Welcome to Andorra. This is where the rich get richer. It is, of course, a tax haven, although not as good as Monaco anymore, which is a crying shame for these billionaires. However, this is probably one of the most amazing hotels I've ever stayed in. So the cars got taken down last night to valet parking, which, by the way, Alex, still in the bad books because they were driving the R8 yesterday. I was driving the 458 yesterday. Oh, what a terrible day. Which was incredible. And then when the lads turned up to the hotel with the R8, rather than thinking, we'll get Rob's bags out so when he turns up, he can just go to his room, they just handed them my key. And they buried it in the underground car park with all my bags in. And passport, which was the ID that I needed to get my key back. Shan't kill him now, I need him for filming. Look at this. They have a tree in the middle of the foyer. Now, if you're wondering how ridiculously priced this is, it actually isn't. So we're getting rounds in last night, although Alex got a round in without me there. So again, he's making some bad moves this trip. It was what, €4.50 a bottle? Yeah. €4.50 a bottle to be sat here. And then if you do fancy it, obviously you're not allowed to, but you could smash out the ivories. We're going to go down for breakfast now, and then today I think what we're going to be doing is heading out of Andorra, heading up into France. Then we've got 2 days of driving in France. So let's try not to crash it. Let's hope the Audi R8 hangs on because it's having its issues at the moment. And let's get to the next fancy hotel. It's going to be a thunderstorm today. Yay!
And little did I know as we left Andorra that this was going to be one of the sketchiest drives I've ever done in a car. Welcome to the Audi R8 failure.
If we can get between the Alpine and the green Porsche, that would be amazing.
Well, where do you want to be?
Between the Alpine and the green Porsche would be good.
Oh no.
Can we get in front of the green Porsche, please? Stone chips for days on here. We're getting battered with stone chips. Can anybody hear us on the radio?
Clear off to the van. Clear off to the van.
Stop me in the head then.
As we headed down this incredibly technical, very steep, very difficult and very long drive down the side of this mountain, and to be fair, very aggressive. Although we were annoyed with the radio, the biggest problem with this R8 was about to rear its head properly and unfortunately kill the trip for us.
We've got passengers, I can see Bill getting frustrated with EDI thing.
Can we please just stop? I'm losing brakes.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm genuinely, it's getting a bit of brake fade on there. Yeah. When you start losing your brakes, you
Not on a mountain road.
yeah, you're alright, mate. Yeah, there's... Mate, I'm full on them.
Serious?
I'm full on them.
Sake, might have to stop and let them cool down. Guys, I don't know if you can hear us, we've had to stop. We have severe brake fade.
I'll just keep it going really slowly, mate. It's cool them. I'm glad I pulled over when I did then, because I could just feel it. Thinking that's feeling fadey. My foot was to the floor. That's foot to the floor. If I pump them, That's foot to the floor.
Yep, you heard him right. Unfortunately, finally, the Audi brakes were absolutely cooked. Not only were they juddering, but my foot was going entirely to the floor on the pedal. Foolishly, like an idiot, I was so intent on getting the exhaust on the car, I didn't think to check the consumables. I do this for a living. What a complete prat, and that rendered us out of it.
God, I made a good call there.
Too right.
Mate, the drops we've just been going past.
Scary to say the least. Mixed with amazing roads.
I don't care. I want to go home. I want to go home at the end of the trip.
Yeah.
Do you want me to slam on and show you what it does?
Go on then. That's shocking, isn't it?
That's from 30.
And to top it all off, we have lost radio comms.
That's us done on this trip, mate. For fast driving, that's us done. That's genuinely really scary. Can anybody hear us? We're stuck on the mountain pass. We've had a catastrophic brake failure. Can anybody hear us over? Got nothing. That's us out.
Yeah, it looks that way, doesn't it?
We go home to our families, Tim.
Yeah.
That is what's most important on this trip. It's all got a little bit silly, isn't it? The good news is we've got a proper handbrake. Oh, that doesn't work very well either.
It doesn't do anything. If all else fails, pull the bloody handbrake that doesn't work and go off the mountain edge.
Oh, imagine that's been...
Falling off the mountain edge with the handbrake lever in your hand. At least there'd be time to make your peace with God on the fall down.
You could probably ring the insurers, it's that far down.
Yeah.
I'd like to put in a claim. What for? Just listen. Don't know if you can hear us on radio comms, but we've had massive brake failure and I think that's us done. We are cooked and I suspect we are going home. We've literally just done 20 the whole way down with the hazard lights on. People coming past us. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah? Okay. Thank you.
Yo, Moto Audi, yo.
Oh, yes.
Antique.
Old,
Moto
yes.
Audi.
Yeah. Very good.
Mon père.
Yes.
Audi Moto.
Nice.
NSU.
Nice.
Yo, Von Weber, yo. Luis. Yo aqui.
Yeah.
My family, Berlin.
Wow, okay.
Von Weber.
Wow, nice to meet you. Yeah. Pleasure. Oh. Bon voyage.
Bon voyage.
Bon voyage. Oh, lovely guy. I think he wanted to go out in it, but I didn't know how to explain in French. It's got no brakes. Oh, mate, that was so sketchy.
Really?
Yeah, like really. There's nothing there. I slammed on, but there's just nothing there.
But it's got life in it.
It's fluid.
Weird. You think it's
100% that's fluid.
The fluid's boiling.
Yeah.
Where's the reservoir?
Oh, it'll be back here, won't it?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's in. I think it's in front.
It is. Yeah, it's in the front, isn't it?
Usually on the driver's side towards the rear.
You have to take the skirt off.
What? Not like you, Tom. I'm not just going to throw it into a main dealer and suck it up like a.
It basically says they make it out so you can't get to it.
Really?
So you have to take it to a main deal.
The brake fluid reservoir is located in the front luggage compartment, buried under the plastic trim panels near the windscreen.
If there's more spirited driving left, we can't do it with the brake fluid as it is. But if it's just motorway driving, getting back to point, I think we'll be okay. I've never had one of those. What dry delights have we got in store today?
Mine's dry as desert.
They do. Polystyrene.
That? No. Oh. What is the braking distance of an Audi R8?
60 to 0 is meant to be 100 feet or less from 60 mile an hour.
I don't fancy doing 60 miles an hour.
Okay.
What about 40 miles an hour?
Top speed. likely to be well under 20 to 25 metres.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here. So it should stop from there to here. Yeah. Right, we'll let them chill for another 15 minutes and we'll go again. Let's park up and chill and go again.
Hold it 40, hold it 40.
That worked fine.
We got brakes, baby.
Oh, they're working now, aren't they?
Although we managed to get some brake pedal back in the R8, it got to a point on this trip where, as amazing as it was, you've just got to start taking a little bit of responsibility. And I thought, this is just getting a bit silly. It filled me with no confidence whatsoever. So we limped it back on the motorway, through all the tolls, and finally found our way back to the hotel, where the good news is we got back early so we could hit the bar before everyone else got there. This turned into quite a messy one.
That is us.
I can get top off.
Oh,
Get tonnage.
we made it and we didn't crash into anyone.
My badge is coming off. Badge is literally coming off. It's
You've
falling
been going
apart,
that
isn't it?
fast.
Rip the Audi badge from the front of this supercar. Oh no. It's alright, that'll wash off in the pool. I've just been a gentleman and got a rounding. And this is what I'm going to show to the bank to explain why I can't pay my mortgage this month.
No, that's the one for the hookers.
What? Merci. Mucky bucket.
I think there's some more, maybe.
More? Oh.
We need to drink them quick. What they're going to think when they walk through ends.
Should we do another dozen? And then they go for a beer.
Sorry, we thought we were
sorry,
at
no
Krispy
glasses.
Kreme.
Are we going in pool, Jamie? But we'll do it in a sexy way. Right. Where's the Euros?
Kiss cam.
Kiss cam.
Should you have a look in the car park? Look at this, look how cool we look in the car park. So we have got private parking. That guy knows how to spit dust up at your car. One of the founders, Alpine, fantastic car, was totally unexpected. Actually, not unexpected. I thought that'd be good around the corners, and it really is. There's a car with no brakes. There's a car with all the brakes. Should we abuse Tom's car? Yes. Voila. So you've got to time this right, Alex, and it'll be just enough to give him a warning. Oh yeah. With all his computers, tomorrow morning that's going to go pong. Insert sound. That's the one.
As amazing as all of the driving has been on this trip, this genuinely was the best time for me. We all got to really bond as a group. The southern-northern divide had disappeared by this point. We enjoyed table tennis, many beers, and a fantastic meal, followed by a rather random award ceremony.
Alright guys, so gentlemen, we are fast approaching the tail end of the Pyrenees Grand Tour trip. And so what we've done is we've given everyone a unique, customized award, and you get your own personalized hand-signed certificate from Ottano's. Okay, it's the Ottano's Awards. The award for the fastest elephant on four wheels is presented to Tom in the M5.
For the record, that M5 was absolutely incredible.
Is for Mexican diplomacy in Spain, and it is presented to Mr. Tangerine Tim aka the Northern Matador, for his proficient use of Spanish. This is the award for all bark and no bite. For the man who thought it sensible to spend £2,500 on an exhaust but not his own brakes, which could have led to his demise today, but we're fortunate it didn't. This is presented to Cubic.
That's it, gentlemen. Enjoy your certificates. Trophies will be in the post if we have any money left over after this trip. And have a great rest of the trip, guys. Cheers.
The drinking and partying carried on to the early hours of the morning, something we would later regret.
Great driving and amazing sound.
I'm not proud of myself. I'm a little bit. Last night was very messy. And this morning I've woken up with sunburn, a bit of a bad head. It felt like we peaked as Northerners. So I just hope that things we said and did were understood in the way that they were intended, because it got leery. Anyway, I'd be damned if I know what country we're in, but welcome. But anyway, another genuinely fantastic hotel. The food was exquisite. I can't remember the pudding. And I bought wine. Oh, I've got to settle that tab. Anyway.
Oh my God. What kind of bird is that? Seagull. What? Ah! Look at this guy on the cloth roof. Oh, nightmare.
Obviously, it's pterodactyls that live in these trees. Absolutely obliterated everybody's cars this morning. And somebody has kindly/unkindly half-washed the car. And the battle plan was, I wanted to keep it filthy, like a Le Mans car at the end of 24 hours, so you can kind of look at it and go, oh, look at the battle scars on this thing. But now I've got an issue, which is, do I wash or do I not wash? Because, unfortunately, they've given me a free wash and I'm a Yorkshireman. It feels wrong to pass up on it. So we've got a decision to make as to whether or not to make it shiny and beautiful like the rest of the gang, or leave it horrible. I think we all know what's going to happen here.
Yeah, what is that smell?
It's the washer fluid. It stinks.
That smells terrible.
Thank you.
Actually, when
It's grim,
Rob
innit?
opened the door, wasn't
horrible.
it?
Yeah.
Oh!
That's horrible, mate.
Grim, innit? You literally can't use that.
That's disgusting. I've never smelled that. I know. That's terrible.
I've never smelt anything so awful.
Oh, that's
No
so
brakes.
bad.
No brakes. I'm going away from you. Dead animal in the bonnet.
Oh, I can smell it from here. It's terrible. It's so bad. Oh, that's disgusting.
I feel I've yet again lowered the tone.
So after lowering the tone outside a rather lovely hotel, we fought our way to the next one. This was 6 hours of motorway driving. Neither of us felt very good, and I had a little sinking feeling that I did something pretty naughty to Tom's M5 last night, which was filling me with beer fear. Anyway, we soldiered on to the next checkpoint.
Broken, mate. I'm broken. It's been incredible in many, many ways, but also separates the men from the boys this trip.
Certainly does. Yeah, I'm ready for home.
Oh, ready for home.
What's that in bar?
Would you like some goms? Tim? Gom? Do your voice.
Would you like a sweetie?
What? Eubank.
It's my stupendous confectionery.
Cheese. Yeah, I think we probably should get back on those.
I'll give them to plenty.
Many hours and disgusting sweets later, we finally landed at the last hotel, much to our relief.
Welcome to another ridiculous hotel. This is the crown and the jewel. This is the one we've all been driving towards. Today, as you've just seen, was a long, monotonous, tiring and exhausting drive. However, this is where we've turned up. This is a chateau. Rather lovely, as you can see in some of this drone footage. It has a golf course, it has a spa, it has a bar. I have an incredible room. It has many, many wonderful things. I just thought I'd give you a bit of a tour of the grounds, really. Look at that. Oh, it's special. So, this is the grand finale. We're going to be having dinner tonight. I know that we had like the final dinner last night, where we were doing the award ceremony and kind of all that stuff. But tonight is going to be the last meal we have together as new friends and companions. And then tomorrow we've got 6 hours from here to the tunnel, and then we're through the tunnel, and then we've got about 4.5 to 5 hours to get home from there. So we've got a total of around about, I'd say 11 hours driving tomorrow, which is going to be pretty rough. And hopefully the R8 is going to make it, but it's got its issues, that car now, but we will be resolving them when we get back. So the next thing you're going to see is probably a little bit of the inside of the hotel, so you can enjoy it and join me properly on the journey. And then you're going to see a very tired looking Rob, as if this isn't tired enough, in a very noisy Audi R8, cold starting it in the middle of that courtyard and waking all these, I can imagine, well esteemed and highly paid guests up. Yeah, well, the yobbos are here. So yeah, I'll see you soon.
And there we have it, enjoying our final meal before the 11 to 12 hour slog on the way home tomorrow morning. We were going to be setting our alarm clocks rather early because 5 a.m. needed to be the kick-off, just to get home in decent time to see our families before they all went to bed. It felt actually a little bit emotional saying goodbye to everyone, as weird as that might sound. We've only spent a week or so together, but everyone here was aligned in their mentality when it came towards cars, driving, and just general automotive enthusiasm. It was totally refreshing, and sad to say goodbye.
Oh my God. You can see it's a mirage.
Alex, how did your
Look at this one.
Is this a mould, Rob?
Sorry, we're just trying to keep a straight face. Everyone was going in and out of your car.
I went to get straight in.
Well, look, really good to have you on.
Absolute pleasure, mate. No, thank you. Really appreciate it.
Lovely to meet you.
Pleasure.
Lovely to meet you.
Thank you for all that. Now, honestly, one of the best experiences, car-wise, I think I've ever done.
Really?
Yeah, what I mean? Yeah.
That's good to hear.
I've seen some never forget. Thank you. Exquisite. I really enjoyed it.
That's all good.
Food was ropey.
It was a pleasure.
Lodgings weren't great, but other than that, the driving was all right.
Good luck on the roads tomorrow as well. You got a fair few hours to do.
Oh yeah, we have.
All right. Well, look, safe trip, guys.
You take care.
Take care, lads.
See you later.
See you later.
Good night.
Have a good journey home.
Cheers.
This exhaust.
That is going to echo. It's going to wake everything up first of all.
This is going to be bad. I know. I just looked and Alex was going, was it bad?
That was bad.
Let's get out of here.
So as we snuck away, not so quietly, into the darkness, it began to dawn on me that this trip was never really about the car. Yes, it was important. I needed to make sure we had something exciting. But actually, you could have gone on this in, something half its value, in something half as fast. It just didn't matter. It was about having a laugh. It was about getting away and actually enjoying what cars were all about again. This car is 10 times the car it is back in the UK. And although we are limping it home now and I feel rather sorry for it, I feel like it finally got to enjoy what it was made for. So we head back on the motorways on what is going to be a very long and boring trip home, until it dawned on me I needed to do something for the missus.
Anyway, let's find a service station and find the wives something.
Yeah, and have a coffee as well.
Have you bought your missus anything?
No.
Bad boy. I have.
Ooh. Ah, it's got a name on it. Nice.
Pulled it out of the bag.
Nice.
And a coffee. Ciao. The real nice thing about this is I don't like this stuff, but she does.
Right.
So I've been selfless as well.
Selfless as well.
Because she always complains that I buy gifts that are for me.
Right.
Like I bought her a bird feeder for Mother's Day. I quite like birds. And I bought her things for Christmas and she's found me using them. Like jet washes. Merry Christmas, love.
Yeah.
Car looks good, doesn't it?
And that exhaust that you bought Ralph for his birthday.
Oh, he loves
ended
it.
up on your car.
He loves it.
Somehow.
We're a team.
So there we have it, nearly 4,000 miles covered in a cheap supercar. I think it did really well. I mean, besides the obvious, so for example the air conditioning not working, the washer fluid smelling like a bowel movement, and the brakes no longer braking, I think the car did really well. This is all stuff that should be fairly easy to repair when we get back. Overall, this has genuinely been the trip of a lifetime, and a massive thank you again to Ottano. Of course, the link is in the description below to join as a member for free, and if you want to join me on another trip later on in the year when we do something UK based. But I mean, what a great set of guys, great set of roads, great set of cars, and overall, genuinely the best automotive experience of my life. Thank you for joining me.
Is that enough? Or?
Yeah, bang on. Cheers.
I mean, I ended it poorly.
Literally needs to be a couple of minutes, we'll fade it out. Yeah.